As one of the highest-grossing Australian movies of all time, there's no doubt Crocodile Dundee is well remembered by anyone who loves a 1980s classic. The success achieved by the movie, starring Paul Hogan and Linda Kozlowski, really defined the comedy and action genre at the time, leaving a cultural impact not easy to surpass. With an entertaining but simple plot, funny characters, and an amusing story, there's no question as to why Crocodile Dundee was so loved by audiences all around the world. However, while some of its stars had prolific careers from then on, others have been easy to lose track of. So what's up with the cast of Crocodile Dundee now that it's been over 3 decades since its premiere? What other movies did they appear in, and who of them have unfortunately passed away? Keep with us to know it all. Although Paul Hogan is a well-known name in his home country for series such as The Paul Hogan Show, his role as Mick Dundee in Crocodile Dundee definitely made him an internationally renowned star. Similar success followed him when he repeated his role of Crocodile for the movie sequels, but the rest of his professional endeavors weren't as fruitful. In the 1990s, Paul acted in as well as debuted as a producer and screenwriter in several movies, including Almost an Angel and Lightning Jack, which unfortunately weren't well received by critics or at the box office. Nonetheless, not leaving the one-hit wonder title didn't deter the love the general public has for Paul, so it wasn't a surprise when in 2016, he became the recipient of a Longford Lyell Award, the most prestigious honor granted by the Australian Academy of Cinema and Television Arts. Paul's personal life is rather more scandalous though. After a tumultuous divorce from his first wife, Nolene Edwards, in 1990 he married his Crocodile Dundee co-star Linda Kozlowski, with whom he welcomed a son, Chance, but they divorced in 2014. In 2003, Paul was accused of evading $35 million in taxes, a legal battle ensuing which ended in 2010, when the Australian government dropped any charges against him. Paul's most recent project is the 2020's online series The Very Excellent Mr. Dundee. Unfortunately, Linda Kozlowski's professional life hasn't been very eventful in the last 2 decades. Although she received a Golden Globe Award nomination as Best Supporting Actress for her character Sue Charlton, her following roles in movies such as Backstreet Justice and Village of the Damned weren't critically well received. In 2001, Linda co-starred in Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, the latest installment of the movie saga, and her last role before finally retiring from acting. As she expressed in an interview with the Herald Journal, her dissatisfaction with her latest roles added to her desire to entirely focus on having a child, and ultimately led her to leave her career without much regret. I thought, this isn't fun anymore. This is not what I studied. It's not what I love. Afterwards, Linda's public appearances were few and far between. In 2013, she filed for divorce from Paul Hogan, citing the reasons for the split as irreconcilable differences. Since then, Linda has been in a relationship with a Moroccan man named Moulay Hafida Baba, with whom she tied the knot in 2017. John Maylon is well remembered for playing the role of Walter Riley in the first 2 installments of Crocodile Dundee. By then, he had already had over 2 decades of an acting career, having appeared in dozens of series, movies, and screenplays. He was also a notable voice actor, added to a moderately successful career as a singer. After Crocodile Dundee, John appeared in movies such as Frenchman's Farm and The Everlasting Secret Family. His last role was in the short film Tripe, released in 1989, shortly before his death on the 11th of August that year at 55 years of age. John's health had been going downhill for at least a year before passing away. He had become quiet and introspective, his close friend Ben Spencer asserted. John, who was survived by 2 sons and wife Bunny Gibson, was rewarded with a posthumous Raymond Longford Lifetime Achievement Award in 1989 for contributing substantially to the enrichment of Australian screen culture. David Gulpel's decades-long career in the entertainment industry is certainly unforgettable. Prior to his role in Crocodile Dundee as Neville Bell, David was already recognized nationwide for his work in the movies Walkabout and The Last Wave. Following his appearances in the 2 installments of Crocodile Dundee, David acted in movies including the multi-awarded The Tracker in 2002, series such as Beastmaster, and several documentaries, out of which the autobiographical Gulpel One Red Blood is especially notable. Besides being a renowned actor, David's career is as a traditional dancer, having won the dance competition Darwin Australia Day Eisteddfod 5 times. As well, he's participated in several movements to argue for Australian Aboriginal rights, and he became a mentor for Indigenous communities. The multi-awarded David has received several recognitions for his decades-long work in the industry, including a Centenary Medal in 2001. He has also been awarded Best Actor by the Australian Film Institute and Cannes Film Festival. Despite his brilliant career, David has had his fair share of legal issues, including charges for carrying a weapon and domestic abuse in 2007. David retired from public life in 2019 after revealing that he was suffering from terminal lung cancer. A biographical documentary, My Name is Gulpel, premiered in 2021 when he was also granted a Winston's Walk of Fame star. David passed away from the effects of lung cancer on the 29th of November 2021. Although he only appeared in the first Crocodile Dundee movie, playing the role of Richard Mason, Mark Blum built a prolific theater, TV, and film acting career from then on. Out of the dozens of movies Mark was in, we can count The Presidio, Shattered Glass, and Human Capital. When it comes to television, his roles in series such as Law & Order and Succession were short-lived but memorable. His onstage career includes roles in productions such as Gus and Al and Broadway's Lost in Yonkers in the 1990s. More recently, Mark is well remembered for appearing in the multi-awarded Mozart in the Jungle series as Bob Union. Added to this, his role as Mr. Mooney in the popular You in 2018. Mark's last roles were in the crime drama series Tommy and in the movie Sister of the Groom, which was released months after his unfortunate death at 69 years of age on the 25th of March 2020, resulting from complications related to COVID-19. You might remember Michael Lombard for his role as Sam Charlton in the first Crocodile Dundee movie, but his career goes beyond that character. He was Erwin Goldman in the 1989 film adaptation of Stephen King's book Pet Sematary, and then in 1997's horror movie The Devil's Advocate as Judge Poe. However, his most celebrated roles were definitely in off-Broadway plays, such as the 1977's Otherwise Engaged, for which he was nominated for a Drama Desk Award, and in the 1991 production What's Wrong with This Picture, which won him an Obie Award. From the start of his career in the 1950s to the 2000s, Michael Lombard played dozens of roles in a series of all genres, including The Cosby Show and Law & Order. Michael's last role was in the French film La Vraie Vie de Prof, premiered in 2013. Michael unfortunately passed away on the 13th of August 2020 of unknown causes. He was honored by the Screen Actors Guild on their in memoriam list. Reginald Veljohnson is remembered for playing the memorable limo driver Gus in Crocodile Dundee. However, Reginald had several other roles to be proud of. Although he played minor roles in movies such as the Tom Hanks-starred Turner and Hooch, his Hollywood breakthrough came with the first two Die Hard films, in which he played the role of Sergeant Al Powell. Reginald's most popular role to date is definitely starring in the 1989 sitcom Family Matters as Carl Winslow, a police officer with a kind heart but strong character. The show ended after 9 seasons, but Reginald continued appearing on TV regularly for years, in a variety of series as a guest star, also as a narrator and a voice actor. His latest recurring long-term acting work on TV was in the Disney series I'm in the Band, while his most recent project was voicing several characters in the animated series Invincible, released in 2021. Despite being the victim of an online hoax which made Twitter users believe he died in 2017, Reginald is fortunately still alive and actively working on Hollywood productions. While Terry Gill's role as Duffy in Crocodile Dundee might have won him worldwide recognition, the truth is he was already a renowned star in Australia by then. His career started in the 60s and extended for decades, gaining him lots of Aussie hearts for his portrayal of characters such as the detective Jack Grace in the series Prisoner. Though he appeared in the movies Jenny Kissed Me and Alvin Rides Again, his most memorable roles were definitely on TV and in screenplays. His affiliation with the production company J.C. Williamson's took him touring many local Melbourne's bars in a so-called theater fraternity established by the company. Terry and his wife Carol Ann Aylett founded a children's club in Malvern, which functioned for several years until their issues with the real estate agent resulted in its closure in 2014, an event documented in the film Curtain Call. Terry and Carol Ann eventually re-established their children's theater, added to his seasonal appearances in the Christmas special Carols by Candlelight as Santa Claus, a role he portrayed for almost 3 decades. Unfortunately, Terry died on the 25th of February 2015, less than a year after being diagnosed with lung cancer. As Donk in the Crocodile Dundee movie trilogy, Steve Rachman wasn't an actor initially. He was a wrestler by profession, having won the Australian Asian Tag Team Championship in 1975. Steve's bulky physique and complexion made him fitting for roles as a strongman, appearing in at least 40 movies and Australian TV series from the 1970s to the 2000s. His most memorable roles are as Devastator in Outback Bound and Samchin Jugger in The Blood of Heroes. While his career in the entertainment world was thriving, Steve established a company, Main Events Production, focused on organizing events and clubs of wrestling. Steve's last role was in the third Crocodile Dundee movie, premiered in 2001, disappearing from the public life shortly afterwards. The last time we got an update on his whereabouts was in 2003, when, in an interview with the magazine Australian Sports Entertainment, Steve revealed that he'd founded a gym in Sydney's Coogee Beach. Although Jerry Skilton had already appeared in the miniseries The Cobra Breakout in 1984, his breakthrough took place in Crocodile Dundee, with his portrayal of the memorable Nugget for 3 movies of the saga. In the following 2 decades, Jerry acted in dozens of films, TV movies, and series, including productions such as Outback Bound, A Country Practice, and My Entire Life. Nonetheless, Jerry couldn't shake the image of Nugget from his career. That's why in 2010, he was granted permission by Paul Hogan to create Nugget Gets a Life, a self-financed series he created to not only explore Nugget's character in depth, but to go into detail about the life of mining during the late 1800s in Claremont, Australia. Besides getting the approval of Claremont's authorities for the project in anticipation of its supposed touristic benefits for the area, Jerry also sensed that it was a good chance to further his creativity. I don't know whether it's a great or a bad thing, but since completing Dundee, I've never been able to drop the handle Nugget because people just won't let me, he told the Courier Mail. Unfortunately, Jerry's project was apparently never taken by a production company or network. Since 2010, Jerry has disappeared from public life. Knowing how acclaimed Crocodile Dundee was, there's no wonder why Paul Hogan converted it into a movie saga. In its first installment, Crocodile Dundee collected $328 million at the box office worldwide, an impressive feat considering its budget was $8 million, raised with the assistance of the Australian government through a tax concession program. The film series was continued by a sequel premiered in 1988, which, despite not surpassing the first movie, impressively collected $239 million at the box office. The second and last sequel, entitled Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, released in 2001, didn't achieve its predecessor's success, grossing only $39 million. A continuation of the movie series seems unlikely now, partly because the franchise is owned by Paul Hogan, who is now well over 80 years old. So fans of Crocodile Dundee need to tap into replays and enjoy again a movie which seems timeless, certainly in its portrayal of outback Australia and the characters who inhabit the vast open spaces. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.